This is our top 8 here in Sacramento, and we have some star-studded performers here and some familiar faces that you're seeing on your screen right now, Juancho. One that you just talked with, Kenneth Gilman over here on the right side. We just saw him piloting this Miraidon EX deck, and it showed to be quite explosive in the last match that we saw. So hopefully trying to remain with that Sacramento top 8 there, and then a Baltimore top 128. So Kenneth Gilman, this is the highest placement so far.
Now we
for
can
him.
change that top 8, potentially top 4 into champion. Anything can happen here, but you know, he's up against one of the best players out there, Jon Eng. I mean, a former regional champ, Portland regional champion. Who, Kenneth, again, hometown hero here, but is essentially facing almost like a final boss. It's only top 8. This
Final boss, yeah. Jon Eng is 100% a final boss. Absolutely, Juancho, you could not be more correct about that. Jon, former regional champion, as you said, in Portland last season. And not only that, but Jon Eng is one of those players that is always coming out to these events and just fighting for his life. I mean, he puts everything that he has out there on the table, and I can more than expect him to do that here in our top 8 match. So let's take a look at these prize cards for both of our players. Over on Kenneth's side, 2 energy plus that double turbo that we see to power up that Iron Hands that is used. One of those boss's orders that was so pivotal there before for Kenneth in those previous matchups, that Irda Nest Ball. Over for Jon, a couple of Nest Balls there, the Terra Orb for that Terra Pokemon, and that Canceling Cologne, as well as a Hisuian Gudra.
Again, you hate to see those dragons prized. Again,
It's at the bottom, though.
It's at the bottom, yeah, but typically maybe you want that as your first attack. You want to be able to eat a hit or something like that. You want the option at the very least, right? That's if Reggie Drago has one thing to its name, it's options. But
yes, that's very true.
Right now,
options. What are those options going to be, though, for Jon Eng? We'll have to check it out here as we kick off our Masters Top 8 in Sacramento, California. Kenneth not only playing this Miraidon, but playing a very beautiful Miraidon list. I mean, look at these artworks, Juancho.
it's beautiful,
Astounding.
but the thing that caught my eye was the Squawk and Seas discarding, what was that, 5 lightning energy?
That was a lot of resources there, if I do say so. Wait, that was 5 energy? What?
I was trying to count it out. It was either 5 or 4. It was a lot of lightning energy. Luckily,
But
he
look,
does play
3
15.
can come back.
Yeah, definitely. The new card, Magneton, that is a way to, you know, put re-establish your energy onto the board, but you know, with more energy in the discard pile means there's less energy in the deck for your electric generators to hit, and that's your early game attack.
Yeah, and also 2 energy in the prize card as well. But I mean, Miraidon EX plays a ton of lightning energy, so there's still potential here for Kenneth. And I mean, this is why you do this, because you need to establish your board state here if you're Kenneth. If you have a dead hand, what are you going to do for the rest of the game? You can hold on to those cards, or you can just full send it and establish your board for the later game. Because when you're going up against Reggie Drago V-Star, I mean, that is an oppressive deck, to say the least. So you need all the help you can get as early as possible.
Definitely. Kenneth here going first is actually a really, really big deal. I mean, typically, you know, turbo basic EX decks like this, they do like to go second, but knowing that you're up against something like the Reggie Drago, which absolutely loves to go first, has to evolve to even start attacking, might as well take the first turn, maybe get 1 extra energy attachment, make use of that Rotom V, something I don't really get to see in these Miraidon decks, but that's great to have. You know, just 3 extra cards, why not? We got the attachment for turn. What more can we ask?
Well, yeah, I mean, that is beautiful indeed, Juancho. That Rotom V with the instant charge here for Kenneth. So that is going to end the turn here, but it is going to end the turn with 3 additional cards. That extra support for Kenneth to carry into these later turns. Jon Eng, on the other hand, Earthen Vessel to start us off. We're going to trash one of these Pokemon into the discard pile in that Alolan Executor EX. So we were talking about Grant Manley playing this Alolan Executor. It is the hot topic here for our Reggie Drago V-Star players, and Jon Eng decided to add it into this deck. Is that gonna help at all here in this specific matchup, Wancho, now that it's in the discard pile?
To be honest, it's not a bad attacker to have, right? A swinging Sphene, you're able to flip a coin. If heads, you knock out the active. If tails, you knock out something on the bench. Typically, you do see an energy attachment there onto something like the Miraidon, and Miraidon can't attack back-to-back. If you get tails, you could maybe try and snipe something in the back, knock out something like a Pheasantipity. It's just a nice attack that basically costs nothing. You know, you don't have to discard energy.
Chilling.
Yeah, you don't have to send energy to Lost Zone to use something like Lost Impact. But, I mean, it's a great attack to have, great option to have in the discard pile. But I'm sure maybe there are different attackers he'd like to use. Maybe even Dragapult EX, start spreading damage onto the board too. Or even Hisuian Gudra. But, hey, again, new card. We wanted to see it. There it is.
There it is, and there it goes. Are the Vessel going to discard that attacker there? But that's where you want it to be in this deck as a Grass Energy is pulled out of the deck. That's the Grass Energy that's going to be powering up this Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, able to use that Teal Dance ability to draw in some additional cards. Did you get a look at the hand at all, Wancho?
Yeah, it does have the Squawk ability, but
okay.
I feel like just signifying you're using Earthen Vessel, only getting a Grass Energy, it kind of signifies maybe your hand's a little bit weak to your opponent, right? You're not getting the Fire Energy. Maybe you don't have the Regidrago. We know for a fact he is going to be able to get the Regidrago here thanks to a couple of Nest Balls, or maybe even the Ultra Ball. So things are A-okay here. As Jon Eng, again, you don't have the capability really to attack turn one. So what you want to establish is multiple Regidragos, multiple attacking threats for the future, because you just have to assume the worst. This is Miraidon. They're going to have the Gust. They're going to have the generators for two. You just have
out
to
a
play
secret box from nowhere. Yeah, absolutely. Regidrago V stabilizing his board a little bit. That was the draw off of the Teal Dance as well. So super clutch there in that Nest Ball, being able to bring out this Regidrago V and set it up. There's a Fire Energy in hand as well for Jon. Ultra Ball going to go back into the deck as well for this Cleffa. This is a Pokemon that we see in a lot of these Regidrago V-Star lists now because of that grasping draw to just get all of these resources that you need when you're taking these turns to slowly set up.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, there's so many things going on for Cleffa. It's such a great card.
Woo! That's a fresh hand with the Squawk and Seize. Not a single card discarded there. All gains here for Jon.
I love to see the Ultra Ball as well, to be able to discard another Dragon, another option to discard pile. Again, would love to see a second Regidrago. And again, very important to see that Cleffa. Again, Cleffa, amazing Pokemon in this matchup because it only gives up one prize. We put it into the active, has free retreat as well. We've seen Miluslav, for example, utilize that fully in LAIC. Sometimes you just really do have to take those couple of turns to set up. And by just giving up one prize, that changes nothing. Force your opponent to go to the odd prize, force him to still take out 2/2/2 or big V or EX Pokemon. But yeah, no, Cleffa, great to have there. But Kenneth does have multiple options here to even take multiple prizes on that Cleffa. Something maybe with like the Iron Hands, or something as simple as just Gust one of the many V Pokemon. I'm sure he'd love to get a Regidrago V before it evolves to the V-Star. 220.
Yeah.
Get the one with the energy as well.
Oh, baby. I love when I get to do that to these Regidrago decks. And Kenneth definitely is going to have a lot of Pokemon right for the picking indeed. And we saw that a lot from Kenneth in previous matchups on the stream. Kenneth uses those gusting effects to bring up those Pokemon when needed, to be able to kind of work around the prize mapping and debilitate your opponent as much as you possibly can. Looking at the record here for Jon so far in this tournament, actually took a tie, only faced off with one Miraidon and took a tie to it, Wancho. So that is kind of interesting here. Kenneth already popping off this Magneton for the turn here. It goes to the discard pile, but it retrieves those 3 Lightning Energy from the discard pile to charge up just before it leaves the scene onto these Miraidon EX on the bench now here for Kenneth.
Yeah, suddenly those Lightning Energies discarded early is not too bad. As we do see the Pikachu EX2 hit the field, that means our board is suddenly about to grow thanks to the Area 0 Underdepths. I'm curious to see what other Pokemon we're going to add. Of course, we're going to see that Raikou. Great Pokemon here. It is your V Pokemon as well, so you can utilize something like Fort Steelstone. Great attacker. Even gets you an extra draw. It does it all. But right now, we're missing Gust. We need to see Gust or even something like, I don't know, the Iron Bundle, right? We need to get the Clef out of the way. We don't want to take this prize. Maybe if we had the Iron Hands, but again, the energy did go into the Miraidon, but okay,
Oh gosh, I just love to see this. The iteration of this deck now that expands its bench. I mean, you saw it on the screen. We have regular bench of 5, then we have extra bench. You can bench up to 8 Pokemon now in this Miraidon EX deck. It is one of these decks that benefits so much because it can play all of these supporter Pokemon. We saw the Squawk ability on the bench, the Rotom V to draw into extra cards, the concealed cards from the Radiant Greninja to draw into these extra cards for the turn for Kenneth as well. This is how this Miraidon EX deck works now. It's all electricity. We're plugging in and we're powering this house down, Wancho.
100%, Boo. I mean, there's only one thing better than having Pokemon on your bench. It's having more Pokemon. No.
More damage, more Pokemon, more support. It's so good.
Yeah, we did see the electric generator there hit. Only get 1 energy though, but again, there's so much energy on the board, but we're still missing the Gust. And I don't think we can thin the hand out anymore. We're just gonna have to hit into this Cleffa potentially.
No, there's a boss in hand. We had it the whole time, Wancho. Boss's orders. Maybe you missed it because it's that beautiful full art Boss's orders, but it's bringing up that Regidrago V, taking the first 2 prize cards down in this matchup in our Masters top 8. Kenneth is winning the prize race as of now. John still has that 1 prize card from the Magneton going down on Kenneth's turn here, but look at that board state for Kenneth. It is brutal looking, and Jon Eng is really going to have to work on the back foot now in this matchup. We have the Cleffa back in the active, as you said. Wancho, the free retreat on that little buddy there. So let's see if John can run away with this hand. We need to see some draw. We need to see something happen here for Jon Eng.
Ooh, but yeah, it's looking really good here for Kenneth, Boo. You know, Kenneth is looking to do 3 things. It's take 2 prizes, and then take the final 2 prizes. And right now...
Take 6 prizes? Yeah. Is that how you play Pokemon?
No, but specifically the 2-2-2 round.
Yes, exactly.
No, and right now, he's achieved his first task. He got his first 2 prizes on the juiciest target, Regidrago, with the energy. And, you know, if you think about it, there's your other 2, and... Oh, yeah, there's your other 2, and then here's your next 2. Well, just the Squawk, actually.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Let's see how it turns into a V-star. It's going to buff up the HP a little bit there, but yeah, you can still take a knockout on it, I suppose. We're going to see the attachments for the teal dances. Look at that. They're dancing the opposite directions there on John's board here. Someone play the Mamba. We're teal dancing out here. Let's hope it actually netted John some good cards in the hand here. We still see just this Regidrago V. There's the 2 grass energy out there, and usually you see those energy switches to get it onto the Regidrago V star to power up to start utilizing these dragon Pokemon moves from the discard pile. So at least we have the Ultra Ball here, but we've had a lot of resources already down. And the thing about Regidrago V star is you actually do have to keep track of your resources. You have this epic V-Star power that allows you to discard the top 7 cards, 2 cards from the discard pile go back into your hand. So if you're using that later in the game, that's pretty sweet because you can line up some game-winning cards with that. But you still have to make sure that these resources you are using, you don't have to recycle back as your only thing that you can do for later in this game, because then it can get quite sticky.
100%. I love here Jon Eng just grabbing this Radiant Charizard. Again, it fills a similar role as this Cleffa. You know what? They're both single prize Pokemon, and this is what you need to present to your opponent. Get them to the odd prize. Maybe buy yourself an extra turn, as we are going to see the energy attachment there. You know, this is almost like a Regidrago, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Regidrago. It's the way the Regidrago is powered up, but like you said, Wancho, it's powered up into a single prize attacker there. That's hitting hard. It's hitting enough damage with its Combustion Blast, 250 damage, to take out these 2 prize card liabilities over on Kenneth's side. So precisely, Wancho, you nailed it there. That Radiant Charizard is trying to tilt the tides here in this matchup. Plus, if you think about it, 1 prize card already went down for John from the Magneton, so that's going to be 2 additional cards from that Radiant Charizard if you can take out that 2 prize card Pokemon.
100%. And again, something that is just so key here is This Cleffa, again, I just have to talk about it. It's so important. You're presenting yourself of one prize board with the Radiant Charizard, but having the Cleffa as well, that protects you from something I mentioned earlier, the Iron Bundle. Even if you pop the Iron Bundle, that's not going to act like a pseudo boss. You can always just present the Cleffa, and hey, that's still
jump right back out.
As we do see the energy switch onto the Radiant Charizard, just like that, it's ready to go, and it's a threat.
That is so cool. Not only that, but the Terra Pokemon within those Teal Mask Ogerpon activating the Area 0 Underdepths as well for Jon, getting to bench that Pheasantipity, draw 3 additional cards, as well as huge there for Jon. But yeah, we're seeing or it wasn't manual, but it was the energy switch attachments plus the manual fire attachment onto this Radiant Charizard. Of course, doesn't have to make the full energy cost because of that Resolute Heart ability, so it only needs those 3 energy. But that's the knockout here from Kenneth Gilman's side. That Miraidon EX going down. Jon, 3 prize cards have been taken now for this game. Only 3 prize cards left, and Kenneth is promoting that Raikou V into the active position and kicking off this next turn with a Nest Ball.
Ooh, Nest Ball, and if I had to guess, it's going to be turkey for turkey here as Kenneth's going to find himself the Pheasantipity EX. We're going to draw 3 cards because we need to find another gusting effect, that's for sure. Right now we have the Raikou. The unfortunate thing is, yes, Jon Eng has more more established board, right? He was able to get the Pheasantipity, able to accelerate energies thanks to the double Ogerpon. But right now, the bench is really big. And I mentioned earlier, more Pokemon, the better. But maybe not for Jon Eng here, because that means maybe something like the Raikou can try and target down the Regidrago. I believe with the math, if Kenneth Gilman gets a full bench, should be able to take a knockout on something like Regidrago. Let me double check that real quick, but I'm pretty sure. Either way, we're looking for a gust.
You're doing math now, Wancho. Welcome to the party here. Yeah, but that Stadium helping so much with that. The more Pokemon you have, the more damage output you have. And Jon has a pretty darn full bench himself as well. So that is huge help, as we heard Kenneth talking about the beneficial aspect of the Area 0 build of the Miraidon EX now. But we're seeing the Hisuian Heavy Ball here for Kenneth. So mixing those prize cards right back up to put them back into the prize cards. But also, you saw the jotting down because now Kenneth knows exactly what's in those prize cards within those that boss's orders, as well as a couple of energy there for Kenneth. So definitely taking note of what is missing as far as the resources. Look at this hand here.
Right now I see an Ultra Ball could still grab something like the Luminion here. That could guarantee the boss's orders. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this time I'm trying to look closely. There is no boss's orders in hand. It is going to have to be the Luminion to try and grab it, and unfortunately, I believe the boss's order is now in the top side of the prizes. So
yeah, that was sad. That was sad. It mixed it up with the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Now it's at the top, but we have the Luminion V here to save the day with the Luminous Sign. This is the bread and butter here for Kenneth Gilman. Just back-to-back boss's orders, turn after turn, to keep up the pace in these matches for Kenneth. So we have the boss now, thanks to that Luminion, another support Pokemon coming out of the woodwork and carrying for the team here. So we are counting the math, making sure to verify this damage here from Kenneth's side of the field before we choose that boss's orders. But it's activated. The Regidrago V-Star's coming up. That's the brilliant V-Star with that amazing Legacy Star V-Star power that it has, and its primary attacker in this deck as well for Jon, and Kenneth puts it right back into the active on this side, and that's quite scary.
Yeah, I mean, this Raikou, this basic V Pokemon is taking out my V-Star. I haven't, Jon Eng, unable to even use the V-Star power just yet, and it's the only Regidrago in play. Very, very good position here for Kenneth, but I have to mention, again, the third boss's orders, that's his last one. So we know for a fact it's the upper portion of his prizes, so he's probably not going to be able to draw it. There's no more gusting effect after this. Yeah, the gusting is limited now. That boss's order sitting at the top of the prize cards, but the V-Star is going down here for Kenneth. Just 2 prize cards left to take, but is he going to be able to get those in the final minutes of this match here between these players? Jon, on the other hand, utilizing this Area 0 as much as possible. We see a huge bench here from Jon's side. 3 Teal Mask Ogerpon out at the moment that are able to draw into some
additional cards there for Jon. The Cleffa's in the active, already ready to pivot out as well for Jon. We just have to see what is in the hand here for Jon, and we hopefully it's something good.
Hopefully we see something like Disruption. Again, just limit your opponent's resource options here. I'm looking at it. We have more Regidrago. We do have the Iono. I think that's the #1 requirement because we do have the attack lined up here. We do already have the Radiant Charizard. We have a bunch of energy. And honestly, as long as we can stop Kenneth from using boss's orders again, we should be en route to potentially win this game. And Iono is definitely going to help out. Jon Eng drawing 3, Kenneth only 2. Again, we know for a fact there's no more Gust in Kenneth's deck at all. He's going to have to depend on possibly even trying to do Iron Hands. Use the Iron Bundle, bait out a Cleffa, and then use Iron Hands. That's the best thing I can think of.
In the late game, you got to pull out all of the stops here, and Jon is using that disruption method of the Iono. Both of these players shuffled their giant hands. They goes to the bottom of the deck, and then they draw for each of their prize cards. So yeah, Kenneth is just left with those 2 cards that we saw within the Electric Generator, as well as an Ultra Ball there for Kenneth. And then Jon on the other side, still working through this turn. Supporter's been played. We saw the energy as well for the turn. We saw some teal dance happening as well for Jon. And we see that Radiant Charizard has already been charged up. It went back to the bench. Now it's back in the active, taking another knockout. This Radiant Charizard has been doing so much work here for Jon Eng, and now he's sitting at just 1 more prize card left to take. Kenneth, on the other hand, bringing up this Pikachu EX into the active position. Does already have that lightning energy attached onto it as well.
Yeah, so unfortunately, again, this Pikachu in the Miraidon deck, it's here just so that we can use just so we can use Area 0. Even though it does have the energy attached, unfortunately, it costs like a grass and a metal more. Because that would have been the best attacker in this position.
I know, that would have been sick, actually.
We need to stop Jon Eng from taking a prize. And
you need the energy for it to jump out of the active. That's what you need the energy for.
That's for sure. But I mean, the very special Latias helps out there. Ooh, but looks like Kenneth here, maybe hoping Jon Eng is just nice enough to give him a 2-prize Pokemon here.
Yeah, Iron Bundle jumping on the bench, but look at that. Being triggered with the Hyper Blower, and it jumps into the discard after that. But that Cleffa helping out the party here. Jon just promotes it back up. Here's my little 1-prize baby Cleffa that can jump right back out of the active position as well. But
there it is. The only chance here is to get this Iron Hands up and running.
You were talking about it. Yes.
Right now, I believe we did have a generator in hand. I know for a fact he has something like the double turbo energy as well. So if we hit double lightning energy here, plus Forest Sealstone, we do have it in hand as well. That could win Kenneth the game. That's his only shot. How many lightning do we have left in the deck? It's not too many. I think I see 1.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we're going to add 3 more thanks to the Super Rod at the very least.
Yes, that's true.
I see 1. I see 2.
There's 2. There's 2, but there's going to be more with this Super Rod after Kenneth draws it out of the deck with that Irida, searching out that item card. Super Rod are going to be bringing these lightning energy out. This is what we need to see here for Kenneth to be able to secure this win with the Iron Hands EX to take that additional prize card off this Cleffa and take the win. Are we going to see it, Wancho? That's what it's going to come down to. The Forest Seal Stone here.
Okay, good sequencing here. I like seeing that Forest Seal Stone. Let's go ahead and pop that marker. Let's do it. Yes, let's get the DTE out to be able to. That's 1 less card in the deck. Oh my! If we just used the generator, we would have hit 2.
Oh no, we don't talk about that.
Let's not talk about what could have been. Let's get that card out of the deck.
You want to focus on 1. Yeah, I mean, you got to do the correct sequencing, right? So yeah, we're going to see that double turbo here now to power up this Iron Hands EX on the bench right now for Kenneth.
All right.
Then it's just rolling the dice.
This is it, Boo. It's tense.
This is it. Electric Generator here. This is huge for Kenneth. Can we hit those lightning energy?
1, 2.
Whoa! We see it. It was not only 2, it was 3 there on that Iron Hands. That is going to be enough damage after the Pikachu EX is able to retreat out, knocks out the Cleffa for that extra prize card, and Kenneth Gilman is taking the first match here in our Masters Top 8 with Miraidon EX.
Again, Boo, sometimes all it takes is 3 easy steps.
2-2-2.
Prizes.
Yeah, you called it, Wancho.
And unfortunately, that just has to be the route. But I love how this Miraidon deck has options, right? Yes, it's 2-2-2, but then we, even if you present a single prize Pokemon, we have the Iron Hands. But what a match. I'm already out of breath here, Boo.
Well, we better jump right back into this here, Wancho. This Magneton, huge. So we saw all those energy hit the discard early for Kenneth, but that's actually good for him to charge them back up onto the field, power up these Miraidon EX, start taking the prize cards early in this game. You want to start racing that prize cards. Jon Eng tried to do absolutely everything to put up a fight here, putting up those single prize attacker within that Radiant Charizard, energy switching to it, manually attaching to it, taking the prize cards in that knockout there as well to try to match the race, but Kenneth just had all the answers with the gusting abilities from the boss's orders back to back, straight into that Iron Hands to close things out.
Yeah, again, absolutely amazing to see. And of course, this last play, and possibly the most important one, had to have so many pieces. Had to have the bundle, had to have the Iron Hands, had to have the DTE hit to generator. But Miraidon always has it. It just feels that consistent. And again, breathing new life, just that Pikachu EX. I just have to talk about that again. Just having the
It's on his arm right now, yo. It's on his arm.
That's why, Boo. That's why it's the big boss. You know what?
It's running. What were you gonna say, Wancho?
No, that's why Pikachu's the big boss. He makes all of this happen, having that full bench of 8, being able to knock out Regidrago V-Star. And sure enough, hey, let's start with it here.
Oh no.
Oh no!
That's just an attached pass here from Jon going first. But oh my gosh, look at that. Not only just an attached pass, the Radiant Charizard in the active position, like so bad to start with that. We have 2 Dragon Pokemon in the Alolan Executor as well as that Dragapult EX, 2 Grass Energy, and the Earthen Vessel in the prize cards as well.
Best card you want to see in this position is going to be your pink card. Your Ace Spec. Give you as many options as you want. Let's get a tool. Let's get the Seal Stone. Let's get a Nest Ball. Let's get a supporter as well. Hey, let's add a stadium in. Ooh, blood in the water here.
Oh my
Kenneth
goodness.
Gilman. He feels it.
Okay, one thing that has just been the absolute story for this weekend, Wancho, has been our Miraidon players and secret box on game-winning turns. I mean, how many times we saw the secret box with a bunch of support Pokemon to knock out a Raging Bolt EX in the start, and that was the only Pokemon there. Took the win. We saw Secret Box into the win to in the end game for Kenneth as well, and now we're seeing it again. Secret Box discarding those 3 cards, getting all of these cards back out of the deck for Kenneth.
I feel like it's not
crazy.
That much of a secret now, actually. Open the secret box, you get a win.
Yeah, that's true. The secret is you're winning.
Yeah.
If you're playing Secret Box, apparently. And look at this. This is how it all starts, and it's sometimes doomed when you're seeing this. Tandem unit on these Miraidon EX. Not 1, but 2, bringing out these Lightning Pokemon onto the bench here for Kenneth. And as you said, Wancho, Pikachu EX is already in the active position. That's going to unlock that stadium because it's a Terra Pokemon if Kenneth is able to have it there as well.
Yeah, again, the Pikachu EX, we're going to pair that up. Yeah, he just dropped it just in time, too. The Area 0 Underdepth, that's going to fill up our bench. We can go up to 8. And 8 times 2, 160, plus that 20 on the Raikou. That's going to be more than enough to knock out something like the Radiant Charizard. Suddenly, we only need to hit 1 energy off the generator.
Oh, yeah. And that's not what you want to be seeing when you're Jon, as you can see. I'm sure he's quite frustrated here to be taken out by a Miraidon EX, but it's not over yet. Kenneth still has to make it through this turn. But look at this. We're hitting a generator, or not yet. We attach the Forest Seal Stone here for Kenneth. We're going to generator here. Gotta look
5
at
cards.
These top 5 cards.
There's 2.
Wow.
Okay, where does it go, though? Do you commit it to the Raikou, or are we going into the Miraidon? Because then we still need more bench for the Raikou.
True.
Or we just need 1 more energy. Well, yeah, 1 more energy on Miraidon plus another way to switch.
No, he's going all Miraidon all day long. Miraidon EX powered up right now with 2 energy here. Photon Blaster requires that 3, and it hits for 220. And Kenneth, I mean, that is not a super tall order here, but that Pikachu EX is still in the active, but not for long. That Latias EX is going to allow for the free retreat of that Pikachu EX. Miraidon EX fully powered up thanks to that electric generator plus the manual attachment. Takes the knockout on the Radiant Charizard. start, and Kenneth Gilman is advancing into your top 4 here in Sacramento, California.